believe it! Coates!
My gosh!
He leaps across. He jumped like a rainbow and came up with a pot of gold for Melbourne.
Welcome to Thursday Lines. I'm your host, Scoot, and I'm pumped up. The boys are absolutely on fire. They're red hot. MG out of Melbourne. The weather's the sun's shining and the weather's beautiful down there, and you're on fire.
Weather's always great in Melbourne, Scoot. I can't believe you left the real sunshine state, but footy's back, and very good to see a full schedule roll out for round one, and found a few winners, and hopefully there's a few in store for round two coming up.
Yeah, record crowd down in Melbourne, 413,000 through the gates. Very smart marketing tactics in hindsight. They were up to it all along. Opening round, play them out of state, get everyone talking about AFL, and then the crowd rolls in the second official week or round one. So hats off to the AFL marketing team. They've stuck it in the back door and absolutely nailed it. But that's probably not what Nick Tedeschi wants to hear. But Toprope, 2 weeks in a row, mate, the collared shirt. You're a punter. This is your first official warning, and I'll send a little follow-up email, so it's a written warning. But, mate, your team trackies at home. What's going on with the attire?
I just get myself geared up for work at the footy season. I don't know if you heard, but rugby league is back, and we are still focused. So, to be honest, I didn't know the AFL had started. So it's up here in New South Wales, you don't hear much about the AFL. So I know you sent something around last night talking about TWS memberships. You failed to account for the fact that they are forced memberships on children at schools. So only people who are quote unquote members who will never go to a game in their life and have never heard of it.
It's interesting, yeah, and I guess the Gold Coast Suns are probably in that realm too. So all the kids through Auskick get a free membership. So there's a little bit of an asterisk with those sort of memberships. But speaking of the Tassie team, they've gone
built into an asterisk.
The Tassie team that are still years away. They're not going to launch until 2028 if they get that stadium built. So it's still just a concept, but they're voting with their feet down there. It's $10 a throw. And they're already eclipsed the $100,000 mark. So foundation membership, maybe the NRL needs to look at that. You might be able to get a few clubs over the 100,000 line if you start to pull back a bit and go for the $10 membership. Maybe you get a key ring and a bumper sticker.
So while the NRL is expanding to Papua New Guinea for the sake of national security, while we're going to Vegas, the AFL, already a provincial sport that's pretty much landlocked, decides to go more provincial and go to Tasmania. I have heard it all. That is one of the great laughs of all time. What else did they do in Tasmania? They got rid of jumps racing down there. Artist racing's on the nose after old mate got resolved for race fixing. Not much to do down in Tasmania. God bless them. Get involved. If I lived down in Tasmania, I'd probably become a member of the Tasmanian Devils or whatever they're called.
You know exactly what they're called, Toprope.
Mountain biking's big down there, golf, the wine, the food. So there's plenty to do down in Tassie. And it's AFL moved by stealth. So they've already conquered Queensland with the Gold Coast Suns.
When did you become MG? When did you become MG, Spirit?
Just a bit of reality.
Lies.
Brisbane Lions, they're already sorted. And then you've got GWS and Sydney Swans, who are both going to be in the frame for premiership contention. So, yeah, it's they've got a bit of work to do, the NRL, that's for sure. But big shout-out to Travis Bowe. He's 350th this week in the AFL MG. There hasn't been much fanfare through the press, Travis Bowe.
Yeah, he's been doing the rounds on the footy shows. He's a man that was he's kind of been dubbed the man that probably saved Port Adelaide at one stage. I know he doesn't put that on his shoulders, but yeah, he took them through some tough times and they've come out the other side. So yeah, fantastic effort. Not too many players get to 350, and he's got a pretty good resume and he's been a good player for a long time.
Let's have a look at the AFL Premiership prices. We'll zip into it, and Giants are favourite. So it's all New South Wales at the top of the table, much to the disgust of Nick Tedeschi. Giants $5, Sydney Swans $6.25, who look threatening with a lot of players still on the sideline. Carlton $7.50, Lions $8, $9, Magpies, and you got the D's at $9. Port Adelaide, MG's early season tip $10, and then you're sort of getting around the $19, $20 mark for the rest. Let's have a quick look at the Brownlow medal while we're there. And Toby Green, $6.50. Nick Dacos, $7. Matt Rowell, $9. Bontempelli, $10. Caleb Sarong, $13. Paddy Cripps, $15. Zach Butters. MG, anyone roaring out of the gates or any thoughts there?
No, just I think the early tips have got off to a okay start. Butters was pretty good and probably in the votes round one. Scoot for Port Adelaide, but yeah, obviously Rouse come out of the gates for the Suns. He's played 2 pearlers, and Green for GWS has got off to a solid start. So yeah, I mean they're going to shuffle the decks. Obviously, who gets votes and stuff like that. Obviously, Dacos is already on the drift. We thought he was far too short at the start of the season, so obviously Collingwood losing doesn't put him in the votes either.
Let's have a quick look at the Coleman Metal Market. Charlie Curnow is $4.20. Jesse Hogan, $7. Nick Larkey, $7.50. Jeremy Cameron, $11. Max King, $12. Harry Mackay, $15. All four in the market looking pretty strongly there. Toprope, let's have a quick look at the Rugby League futures markets. And Penrith Panthers are the favourites here at $4. Brisbane Broncos, $4.40. Melbourne Storm, $8. Roosters, $9. Manly Seagulls, $12. Some injury concerns with Payne Haas from the Broncos. But what are your thoughts when you look at that market?
Yeah, I think Parents still attempt to beat that kind of their progression from a World Cup challenge that they got beat, being held scores by the Storm. So, did a pretty good job in beating Parramatta last week. This is how they started the season last year. They opened 4-4 and marched all the way to a premiership there. So, still attempt to beat Brisbane's severe unders. I can understand that quite for the life of it. I mean, they've hardly been over-impressed in 2 weeks. They've lost us for 4 to 6 weeks. Adam Reynolds is out this week. They're probably going to need a hide in tonight against Penrith. So, Manly, the big shortness, they've thrown right up in the $12. They've been very impressive in 2 weeks. They've knocked off a buddies over in Vegas and the Roosters last week. So it's a good start for them. Of course, their season spins on Tom Trbojevic with his that. For my man, the team has been super impressive with the Melbourne Storm, and we can get on to I guess probably the greatest sporting moment of the century in Australia last week when Xavier Coates scored that magnificent try on the back of a comeback led by Ryan Pappenhausen, 2-try hero, great set of tap back. But yeah, that try, they have beaten Penrith, held Mate Mule, beat the Warriors, put 30 on them, 2 top 4 teams last year. They're going very, very well at the moment. So, and that trial we played forever and a day is one of the great moments of the rugby league and one of the great moments in Australian sport.
Yeah, it was spectacular, and I guess just the moment as well. It was brilliant, but as brilliant was just picking the money up the floor. The over even money on Ryan Pappenhausen, anytime try scorer. So we love the Pap here. We say it every week.
245 this is 245 this week. So get around that.
Just lap up the Pap. MG, a little trumpet here for you. So you've bet 24.75 units. You're up plus 7.92. So you're humming along. Last week it's 32% pot, and then for the season it's 25.61%. You, Mr. Tedeschi, 22 units bet last week, 5.3 unit profit, so 24% there, and then you're running at 22.46%. So the boys' packages are up and going and on fire. So you may as well give your bookie an uppercut this week and get around the boys' packages. So AFL or NRL, or get them both. Berg with a lot and just keep on betting. Aussie Rules is the first one that we're going to have a look at here at 7:30 tonight at the MCG, and Collingwood desperate for a win here. $1.57 out to 160. St Kilda 240 into 235. The line is 8.5 and the total is 161. How do you see this one playing out, MG?
Yeah, not a bad match to both sides looking for their first win. Obviously, Collingwood under a bit of pressure being 0-2, but I think they'll respond. Even though St Kilda listed as a home team, it's at the MCG, which obviously suits the Pies, and I think that's one of the keys to the match. Collingwood have won 5 of their last 6, and against St Kilda, they've won 8 straight at night against St Kilda, so they've got the wood over them for a long time. So, yeah, pretty keen to bet here, Scoot. I think the -8, there was some -7 around for certain days of this week as well. I just think that's the play. I thought St Kilda, the St Kilda Geelong game was pretty average on the weekend, both low scoring. I think Collingwood's defence will stiffen this week, and even though Sinclair is back for St Kilda, huge in, especially on the MCG, I just think I think Collingwood will rebound, respond. A big game for them too, because they got Brisbane the week after, so they dropped this one, went 0-3, then they face potentially an 0-4 start. So really keen on Collingwood. I think the market will rally to them, and I think they'll cover a pretty cheap line in the end at the MCG. The total, got no real play in the total. I think it is going slightly to the under here. Scoot 163 down to 162. It's probably on the back of the stat. The last 8 at the MCG is now 7-1 to the under. So especially night games, they struggle to score, and St Kilda can shut down games with the best of them. So probably stay out of the total, but keen on Collingwood.
I was interested to hear that the Collingwood, they played 11 home matches, and then I think their contract by contract through the MCC and their agent with the MCG, they get another 6 games there. So everyone sort of harps on about the Collingwood draw and how many times that they play at the MCG, but yeah, it's a contractual issue and it's a lot deeper. So they need all the marquee or the MCG demand that they play so many games there. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure the clubs complain too hard, Scooters. They also get the profit sharing off it as well. So the bigger the crowds, filters down for the poorer clubs, and also the AFL still looking after a few AFL clubs as well financially. So yeah, I think they cheer on the big crowds, and why not? If you've got a stadium that fits close to 100,000, Collingwood can average about 70,000 a game. You would play them there every week if you could.
Not sure they'll get 100,000 at Bluebet Stadium, but it's a cracking match regardless. Toprope, Panthers are $1.27 here, $3.80 the Broncos, 10.5 the line, and 37.5. You're expecting no Reynolds, no Broncos.
Yeah, I've already got 100,000, but they're going to sell out and be a TV rating. I think PVL's pretty open to that, so wouldn't worry too much about the NRL here, Speedy. I don't know that the Broncos can compete without Reynolds. Haas is out, but also James Sharris, Penrith, that's kind of a wash there. Probably impacts the Broncos a touch more, but no Reynolds. That's a big concern. He's the conductor of everything they do out there. So, Penrith also just impossible to beat. And actually severely underrated at Bluebet. They've covered 22 of 32 at Bluebet, 17 of 25 when favourable more converted try, and good bounce back spots. Penrith, they've covered 77% off conceding 8 or more. The Lions, 7.5 out of 10.5 on the back of the injury years. I kind of suspect this will start 12.5. So I'll be.
It's going to be unrelenting.
Yeah, I don't. Amazing only one way here. So like the Whites in here, and as a subscriber, what they've got on early, very, very keen on the under here. There's some big under angles here. I don't know about the Broncos scoring points. I'll probably split that under about now to kind of half the total, half the Brisbane team under. But there's a lot of angles for the under here. So I'll be betting the under hard and the minus. Holding to that very small gap and 2 Broncos tries and cast will put the other way.
What about first try score or any try scorer bets for the Penrith team?
Yeah, well, 5 of the 6 Broncos tries they've conceded this year have been through the middle. Moses Leota scored a great try last week, scored a try against the Broncos in the final. You can get about $10 running around the traps. I'll be having a little bit on Moses Leota at $10. It's about 40-1 first try score. And Taylor Mayo have been very, very keen on this year. Hasn't scored yet, but top their try scoring in 2022 before missing all the last season in the ACL. Adjusting to the standards, but he's a fast player, so I'll be looking at him as well.
Okay, so anywhere around the $3 mark could be a play for Taylor May. Let's have a look at Friday night footy, and Adelaide Crows $1.48 over Geelong Cats $2.60. Line 12.5 here, 172.5. Interesting clash here at Adelaide Oval. Also a ground that gets plenty of dew at night, MG.
Yes. The big Texans back for Adelaide Scooty this week. So that's a massive inclusion to a side that could only kick 54 points up at your neck of the woods last week against the Gold Coast. So big Texan will be a massive inclusion for Adelaide. But I'm a bit worried about Adelaide. I'm not sure exactly where they are. I think they were overhyped last year with the easy of their draw. They certainly improved. But this will be a good test for them. At home first up against Geelong, who got the job done over St Kilda at home, but that was a pretty ordinary match to watch as well. So not sure with either of these sides, and they're both probably knocking on the door of the 8, whether they can make it at the business end. But yeah, I like this matchup. I think Geelong are the best outsiders of the week here, Scoot. Plus 14.5 around early. It's plus 12.5 in the market now. I think it's a free swing. Geelong have won 4 of the last 5 head to head. And they've also won 2 of their last 3 at Adelaide. So hold no fears going over there. Just a point, Adelaide coming off the Gold Coast in the wet last week as well. So just interesting to see how their legs kind of come up after game 1. Sometimes game 2 you can be a bit flat. I just think, Geelong are cherry ripe here, and I think you've got a free swing with a couple of goals in your favour. So, I think with a total, you do raise it with the due, but geez, I'll tell you what, in March, Adelaide at the venues now, 8 straight games have gone over in the month of March. So I'm just going to stay out of this total. I think the number around that 170 is probably about right, but yeah, pretty keen on the Cats.
It's a bit of an old pearl, that one. The side travelling off the wet deck has always been a good angle that bookies like to sort of take on. So 14.5 into 12.5. You got the market there, right, for the subscribers there, MG. But what did you rate the game? You're saying it should be closer to pick'em, so you get a free 2-goal swing here?
Yeah, I thought it should be about the 2 to 4 point range. Just tempered a little bit with the inclusion of Tex coming back. He's obviously a big inclusion. The major stat that probably just keeps you off a full-blown attack is the home team's won 14 of 17 games head-to-head in this team. So the home ground advantage for this matchup has been huge. But, I just think the line's far too big at the double figures.
Outstanding stuff. I'll see if the market continues to trend that way for Cats at the plus. Friday night's blockbuster is Roosters versus the Rabbits. $1.62 the Chooks. The Rabbits are $2.30, 3.5. The line here at 39.5. Absolute belter looms here, Mr. Tedeschi.
Yeah, I'll be up for that one. That should be an absolute belter. Ashley climbing back in the middle of the famously refereed that Sydney Sunday game. We talked about the other bloke who played the AFL who's celebrating him last Sunday. What about this? Jared Hardgrave, 300 games as a prop forward for the Roosters. One of the hardest men in rugby league, and there's nothing he hates more than the Carvel and Myrtle of the Rabbitohs. So this is going to be pretty fiery. South dropped Lachlan Ilias during the week. A year and a half too late, but they dropped him. Latrell and Cody under plenty of pressure. Chooks up and about. We've lost Luke Keary. Plenty going on here. Storylines galore. From a betting point of view, probably lean the Roosters a touch. I think they're more settled by... I don't like what I've seen of Cody Walker so far, and that's certainly going to get him. So we'll see there, but he does usually lift for the Chooks. So we'll see that. Well, we see the he broke Joey Marty's jaw a few years ago. We're going to see that splash. Very Hardgrave's can't clock Mitchell, so he'll be looking for him. So plenty going on. One bet I will be into though is the under here. I think the numbers are touch too high, 39.5. 75.5% of games the last 3 years have brought under in rounds 1 to 4, and 10 have conceded 8 or more. 8 and 2 the under when the Roosters were the last 4 between those two have brought under. I am going to be going pretty hard at the under this, but I think this will be a tough, fiery, brutal game.
13.5 does look a bit big there. And little shout out, obviously, Triple M and all the radio stations would be tickled pink with Latrell just slicing up any of their video visuals on the aftermatch. So the big brothers sort of stepped in, and anyone that owned the vision and the media rights have just been absolutely they've just squashed all the radio stations. So audio only from
your radio station. You work with audio, so stick with audio, chaps.
Exactly. So that'd be very popular, the Triple M gang, after capturing all of Latrell's potty mouth. But yeah, he seems all at sea, Latrell, so hopefully he can back up and have a good week with a bit of fire in the belly. But that's a grudge match that can't be missed Friday night at Allianz at 8 o'clock. Tricky match here, or not so much head-to-head wise. Swans versus Bombers here. $1.15 the Swans, $5. Line 30.5, 165.5 the total here at the SCG. I caught a fair bit of the Bombers versus the Hawks. I thought for a good period of time we could have upset the Bombers, but they just put the foot on the accelerator in the last quarter and blew Hawks out of the water. 30.5 is an interesting line, MG. Is there going to be much intent for the Swans, or are they going to have a bit of a breather this week?
Yeah, I'm not sure. This early in the season, they're having a breather. I think the Swans are pretty keen to get off to a good start. Got a soft part of the draw early after they obviously get over Melbourne and Collingwood. I just think this is a complete mismatch on paper and form for me, Scoot. So pretty annoyed I missed the early -20 and then -23 early Monday. But he's just caught fire this Sydney line. It's already at 30. I don't think it'll stop. I think the weather's cleared. There was forecast of rain around, which is why I kind of sat quietly in the market waiting for the rest of the bookies to come up in the market, and some bright sparks have obviously set it off and moved it good solid 10 points. I think with the weather clearing now, even though it's at night, I think this is a chance to keep going to 30. So if you're keen to back the Swans, I'd get aboard early. And if you're liking the Essendon line skirt, which sounds like you might be watching the lower level Essendon Hawthorn, I wouldn't buy too much into it. You'll wait late because you'll get your best line the lead up to the game for mine scoot. I think Sydney, coming off Melbourne, Collingwood, they got the victories even though they're missing half their midfield. Essendon, pretty ordinary standard match. It was pretty loose for mine. And as you said, Hawthorn were in it for a long time. So, yeah, I just think Essendon lose Redmond out of their defence on the back of Ridley. I think they got huge problems in defence. Sydney will take care of Essendon's midfield pretty handily, I think, and they'll put a decent number on. I think they'll cover the line here, but, yeah, can't bet now. I've missed the price. A few of the stats, Sydney head-to-head have won 11 of the last 12 at the SCG and been 6 straight underscoring games at the SCG. So I'm going to stay out of the total being at night as well. I don't think Essendon will do too much scoring, but I think Sydney will cover easily.
There's not too much rain about, so back the Bombers late. We could be getting 40-plus points by the sound of it from MG. Gee, they got a soft run, the Swans. I think they got the Tigers, West Coast, they got the bye, then they got Gold Coast Suns.
Well, they were a good bet to get on the flag pre-season there, Scoot.
Could well be, but round 7 could be the fly in the ointment. They got the Hawks at the MCG. There's every possibility the Swans could get to round 8, which is against the Giants, and they could be undefeated going into that one.
They should be flag favourites just on the early run of things of how they're going. No GWS are up and about, but yeah, if you look forward 6 to 8 weeks, I think Swans will be at the top of the market when we get to that point of the season.
Yeah, outstanding. Anyway, hard to believe. Nobody, no worry. So they're absolutely on fire. Next game we're going to have a look at here is Dragons versus Cowboys, Saturday at 5:30 at Jubilee. Cowboys 145, Dragons 275, line 6.5, 43.5 the total. Toprope, thoughts?
Oh, my God. Get your chips. Get your mates' chips. Get your mates' chips. And get them in the middle and put them on the Dragons. This is one of the great situations of all time. This is a max bet, over max bet. Get it on the Dragons, plus 8.5, plus 7.5, plus 6.5. Bet it all the way down to plus 4. I have no idea how the line is big. This could not line up any better for a Dragon. A big early season home underdogs. Always a bet. Always a bet. 65% getting 4 in its first 4 weeks of the season. Teams are getting flogged. Going back home, always a bet. Teams going to home to a suburban home ground, even better. When the favourite is an interstate team, interstate favourites are 4 in the first weeks. They've covered 31%. That is insanely bad. The Cowboys, they've covered 10 of their last 31 interstate. Shane Flanagan, he's a hard-ass coach who does not tolerate this rubbish. He's already made changes. They would have been put under the gun list, but just whack it in the middle, get it on the saves plus 8.5, and then just enjoy your cash.
Toprope, you've been with us for, I'd say, 4 or 5 years. It's all a bit of a blur, especially with COVID. But looking at your greatest game of all tip sheet, I don't think I've ever seen you send out a 6.5 unit bet.
Well, I don't know.
This is big. Usually it maxes out at 5, but you've gone well and above here. I tell you what, if you're having a bad day on the ponies, come 5:30 on Saturday afternoon. It'll all be, Channel 503. Just jump onto the St. George Cowboys and just ride the 6.5. It's 8.5 into 6.5. What do you think this will jump?
It'll jump less than 6. If the market has any common sense, it'll jump less than 6. This is just this is just beautiful. This is why you're careful. This is one of those. This is the Haley's Comet. This is you don't see these very often. It is like, just enjoy. Gamble responsibly. Don't blow all your cash on the slipper. Just have something in the bank there for this day, Cowboys. Because you're going to want to bet now, but then you get to the game and you're going to want to bet again, and you should do that. So just keep on doing it. Gamble responsibly.
1-800-858-858. But sounds like lock of the week from Toprope, and I'll leave that for the clip up there. Sunday, we're going to be playing with Ayers by the sound of it, and Tigers take on Port Adelaide Power. I'm smelling a little bit of blood in the water here when I'm looking at this market. MG 147 Port Adelaide Power, $2.60 Richmond Tigers, 12.5 the line, 172.5. I see that market and I still want to play Port Adelaide head-to-head. I want a bit of a Loch Ness monster situation, so I'll be plus St George into Port Adelaide heads up, MG.
I thought this would be a match you would like, Scoot. You're got a feeling this might be your third team for the year, Port Adelaide. How you just adding them to the comp. Yeah, the ratings-wise, Scoot, I really couldn't come up with an over-big push for Port here. I just think the away at the MCG just kind of tempers it. But, yeah, just on current form and the way Richmond are as a side, they've been decimated by injuries again on the weekend. They lose Pressier out of the midfield, which is going to kill them. And then down back, they're already in trouble. Lose Gibcus and Young. I think that's going to probably force Bolter, who played really well, maybe to go back down defence with Dixon and Marshall and the like down there. But, yeah, if the Port Adelaide midfield get on top at the MCG, this could be it could get ugly. And, yeah, I'm not going to talk you out of the Port 12.5. I just couldn't come up on the ratings to get involved. But we'll just see how the weekend shakes out with it. The play here could be the under, Scoot. I think the MCG, it's not an overly big play at this stage. The market's just kind of creeping up a bit, so I'm just going to keep the powder dry, open 169 up to 170, but I think the play is going to be here on the under. Head-to-head, five or six have been on the under. Low average between the two teams of only 161, and Richmond's last 5 games have been unders. So I just think I don't think Richmond will do too much scoring. I think Port will do enough to get the job done. But, yeah, I think I'd rather play the under, but just wait until it creeps into the 170s here. And, yeah, Scoot, not going to talk you out of my 12.5 on Port.
Got lucky last week with Carlton, but I'm happy to take on the Tigers one more time. And I think Port Adelaide 147, I thought it'd be maybe a 3s on chance there. So that it looks like a nice little gift on Sunday afternoon. Sea Eagles, and Parramatta Eels is the Sunday afternoon match up at Combank Stadium. $1.85 Parramatta, $1.95 Manly, who are in form, as you said earlier. 41.5 the total here, Toprope. Thoughts?
Yeah, hard game. Don't love it as a betting proposition. Going back to Manly and the under small. Manly cover 60% when Turbo's in, 35% when he's not in. They've covered the last 2 from rookie. Covered 12-9 left and seeing it fall down the more referee set here, which I always love firing at. Peter Goff, Manly 5-0 against the spread in the him set. Yeah, lean towards the Eagles here. But I'm betting the under here because there's some wide angles here, including round 1 to 4 Townsville CEO plus. But Manly and Parramatta are both got some show over angles as well. So it should be a great game, not a huge betting. Small Manly, small under.
Little juicy one looks like Tommy Turbo, $2.50. So little 1.5 unit play. MG, you used to get horned up about these Tommy Turbo any times, like going back a season or two. He got the love. Have you found it?
Yeah, I haven't got involved in the Turbo. I followed in the Pappenhaus and cheered him home twice for any time. But sounds like I've got to break the cash out of the Melbourne Storm first round victories and put it on St George this week. And yeah, it looks like a bit of a lock. But yeah, no, I'll double up with the Pappenhaus. I like cheering home the great Pap for any time score try.
No preview on the Storm game, but I do see that Nick Tedeschi's just buttering up at the $2.50 Ryan Pappenhausen in the last match. So if you got plenty,
massive for one, and you know what, and don't just leave it at the 1. 2+, first, last, get involved in the lot. Is we had the Pap last week, and then Coach scored that amazing try. So must have been the only bloke in the world who wasn't excited. And Coach gets over him on death Friday, so I put the Pap last try.
I tried to scoop the pool. Well, fingers crossed St George Dragons get the chocolates, and it looks like MG's going to try strike the first blood early with Collingwood on Thursday night. So got plenty of action for your Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday games. And if you're an absolute sicko like us three boys on the show, make sure you subscribe to the GGOA or MG's AFL Sting. So it's wall-to-wall TV, and it'll be great viewing. So make sure you don't watch too much of the slipper, which could be just a procession with Storm Boy, and make sure you're betting smart and wisely across the two codes of footy over the weekend. It's going to be an absolute cracker, some cracking lineups there, and can't wait for it all. Nick Tedeschi, as I said earlier at the start of the show, I want that collared shirt and buttoned shirt in the cupboard. If you come on next week's show, there's going to be some ramifications. We'll have to ban you from Kittens. And MG.
That's a big threat. That's a big threat.
It's a real threat too. MG, thanks for your time also, and good luck over the weekend. And hopefully we can shoot down a couple of late totals or some market moves early in the week. And the Swans Essendon game, that could be a little. We might try and get the slot there. We might back the Swans early and then try and hit the split, hit the middle in the Essendon game. Looks like one-way traffic there. So there's plenty of meat on the bone. So great insights from you again.
Yeah, big weekend down here, Scoot. We've also got a little event called the Grand Prix rolling around this weekend. So started off with a Wednesday night event last night. So we just got to sneak that in amongst all the football with the town. But yeah, the town's a buzz. Great weather ahead. So unfortunately, the race itself will just be all Red Bull. But it's more the social, Scoot, isn't it, down here?
Big weekend. And I'm happy that I'm nowhere near Sin City. But New South Wales got a big race. I think it's Bathurst. Bathurst 10,000 goes for 6 hours. Absolute snooze-a-thon.
Yeah, I almost bought snooze-a-thon, so I couldn't give it down at the Grand Prix, couldn't give it down at Bathurst. It's an absolute rubbish from beginning to end.
Tell you what, it's just around the corner too, the US Masters. So we'll be previewing the golf soon. So hallelujah. So
how's Sandy doing right now? Scoot that we're not over. What's the jealousy level right now? I'm looking at packages to order his own pimento and cheese. So I've already dusted out the cups that we bought back last year to have every beverage that we consumed that week for a Masters Cup.
Well, I think I'm going to find that we're at 50 to 1 or 100 to 1, so it won't matter. So I think I've started to find someone that's in a red hot form, and all the early rated prices that are out, and this guy isn't anyone's site. So we'll take that one offline. And we'll get a preview coming in the next couple of weeks with golf major season just around the corner. But until then, we put all our hopes and thoughts and prayers into Collingwood, Sydney Swans at the minus, and St George on Saturday night. And hopefully you found the winner. And make sure you give the boys at Top Sport some of your action. They're one of the biggest sports bookmakers in Australia, and they sponsor our show proudly. And of course, a big thanks to puntingform.com.au also for your horse racing information. But see you next week. Can't wait. And Toprope will be in full NRL kit, referee kit, or he'll be in his onesie. So can't wait for that also. We'll see you next week.